I was listening to my local classical music station the other day and was pleased to hear the first movement from Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony. I would like to have heard the rest of the symphony too, but the station chose to play the movement as if it were written as a standalone piece of music. The standard symphonic form contains 4 movements, although the Pastoral Symphony has 5, with a total duration lasting anywhere from 20 minutes, common in Mozart's day, to an hour or more, for later composers such as Mahler and Bruckner. Regardless of its length, the symphony was meant to be heard as a unified piece of music, not sliced into small portions and served as party food. Yet increasingly, classical stations are doing exactly that. There are some legitimate reasons, survival being foremost among them. Bill Lewith, director at a radio station in San Francisco, says that with classical stations dying all over the country, something had to be done to attract new listeners. Classical radio had an image of being boring, intellectual, a private club for people who worshipped forgotten music. It can be so much more appealing. We wanted to play music that anyone who liked the sound of classical music could enjoy. In other words, to take music that was written for the concert hall, when the world turned more slowly, and somehow fit it into the hectic, on-the-go world we now inhabit. That's a tall order. Lewith says the strategy is working, though, and we can only hope he's right. To listeners raised on 3-minute pop tunes, a Bruckner symphony must seem unbearable. That isn't Bruckner's fault, though, for his music was geared to his world, not ours. Since life is a constant rush these days, maybe the radio stations are right to take a work of 40 minutes and cut it to 10, giving you time to catch a quick listen before moving on to the next big thing in your day. It isn't only lovers of classical music who should worry about this trend, however, for what's happening on the radio only mirrors what's happening in society at large. Speed kills. That used to refer to the dangers of driving too fast. Now it refers to the unhealthy pace at which we live our lives, compelled by modern technology into filling our waking hours with as much as we can. This isn't good for an individual's well-being. It's also counterproductive. Numerous studies link falling worker productivity to the advent of email and mobile phones. The ability to communicate instantly, around the clock, or if you prefer, 24/7, with colleagues and clients may seem like a good idea at first. But healthy humans know when to stop working. The problem is that we're always connected now and constantly bombarded, blurring the distinction between work and leisure time. One recent study, which found that only 51% of today's workers feel very productive, compared with 83% 12 years ago, concluded that technology is speeding things up to the point where, paradoxically, everything is slowing down. We never concentrate on one task anymore, said Chicago business consultant John Challenger. You do a little bit, and then you move on to something else. It's harder to feel that you're accomplishing something nowadays. Perhaps we all need to take a break more often and listen to a little Beethoven.